on this Monday morning. A little dreary out, but I've been liking these storms. It's a little relaxing. We need the rain, you know. So yeah, can't complain about it too much. And hey, you know, spring showers means summer is on its way.
Woo,
and
woo.
I have some very fun special guests here in the studio, here with me today at the WDBX 91.1 Community Radio Studio. You're tuned in to Talk of the Town right now. I'm your host, Eva Fisher. And I have across from me, Sarah Van Voren. Hello.
Hi there. Good.
And none other than the one and only, in his vest, of course.
Of course.
Brian Croft.
Yes.
Hello, you two.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm happy to be on the radio. I was dubbed the other day, I was on the radio, and someone called me the nature shock jock. And I'm like, I gotta do that.
Oh, that's
Say that
hilarious.
again.
Nature shock jock.
Nature shock job.
That's
Coming at
really,
you.
really funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is rocking my Monday morning. That's going to stick with me. I enjoy that. I enjoy that. Hey, well, before I dive into conversations with these two about summer camps, I want to give you just a few announcements of some things coming up. One PSA, listen, y'all, if you've got a delicious food truck out there, then you can apply to be a food vendor at the upcoming Sunset Concerts. That is right, Sunset Concerts are going to be kicking off soon, everyone's favorites. And yeah, they want some food trucks. So if you want to visit our new tourism Facebook page, it is the Carbondale, Illinois Facebook page, Carbondale, Illinois Tourism. So Carbondale IL Tourism. If you were following the Eclipse page, you already follow it. We had a nice transition into that being our tourism page to keep you updated on all our fun events going on around town. So check out the Carbondale, Illinois IL Tourism Facebook page. Pinned at the top is the info if you want to apply to be a food vendor for the Sunset Concerts this summer. And then another fun thing on the horizon, local influencer Jessica, by the handle of Caffeine Until Cocktails, is putting together Celebrate 618 Day. So this, you know, I believe this used to be a celebration in the past. She had attended St. Louis's 314 Day. So yeah, wanted to round up the troops here in Southern Illinois to celebrate all things 618. So if you're a local business or an organization that wants to put on some event, bring some attention to your business, the things you're doing here in the 618 area, if you want to visit caffeineutilcocktails.com, she has a whole slew of info about what this day will look like. Really a week-long event. It's going to be several days, and you know, encouraging businesses to create different specials for 618 Day, different offerings, and get the word out there about all the cool, exciting things that we have going on. A fun musical local happening this Friday night. There's going to be a mini fest on the Strip put on by River to River Community Records. So Boobies and PKs Friday night starting at 8:30. There's going to be multiple bands happening non-stop, indoor and outdoor, between those two venues. So get ready to just be darting back and forth between Boobies and PKs, hearing lots of awesome local music, everything from bluegrass, hip hop, punk rock. We got it all, okay? So get down on the Strip this weekend. And wanted to say, coming up soon is going to be Green Earth's 50th anniversary. So just super pumped about that. They're going to be doing lots of things to highlight and showcase their trails and the work that they do in the community. So yeah, visit Green Earth's social media to check out what all they're preparing for their 50th anniversary. And with all that being said, I'm going to turn the mics back over to my friends here. Okay, y'all. So, like I said, we have Sarah. Hi. How are you?
Hello.
Sarah, tell us about yourself and your role at SIU and within the community of summer camps.
Yep, so I'm Sarah Van Voren. I'm the Director of Events and Outreach at SIU. Under our umbrella are university-wide events, so commencement, honors day, eclipse planning that just happened fell under our purview, continuing ed, so non-credit courses and initiatives fell under our purview, as well as conference services, and that's where camps come in.
Cool.
So we do upwards of 50 camps. I'll talk more in detail about that in the categories of academic, art, music, and athletic camps. And we're really excited about our summer offerings, and we have a lot of really cool programs for youth in the community to participate in the summer.
Yes. Wow, 50 camps. I'm so excited to talk
Ish.
about
I haven't
these.
totally
Ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Keyword there. Ish.
Important-ish.
It's Monday-ish kind of day.
Yes,
Yes, I
exactly.
did not total them because it's Monday.
Oh yeah, I love that the radio show I host falls on Monday because, as you probably heard, I am the board intimidates me. There's lots of buttons.
You know what?
and
There's a
volume
lot of
knobs.
buttons. There's colors and there's knobs.
So sorry that yeah, lots of things going on, but I get to blame it on it being Monday morning.
Yeah.
So, so Brian, howdy.
Howdy.
Thanks for being here.
This is awesome.
Yes. All right, tell us your role, buddy.
You know what? My staff call me a corporate sellout now because they're like, now that you're a director, you're a corporate sellout.
Yes.
But I still wear the vest because it keeps me attached to the outdoor community.
Yeah, keeps you humble.
So I am the director of Touch of Nature Outdoor Education Center here at the university, and our job is to get people outside.
Yes.
If you haven't noticed, Southern Illinois is beautiful, and so our whole goal or purview is to use the outdoors to provide meaningful experiences, and so we do that through. So right now is our school season. I have field trips all this week.
Nice.
We also we actually hosted this really cool conference this last week called Rooted in Play with the School of Education about place-based education. So we had teachers from all over come and learn about using the outdoors as a classroom space.
Yeah.
And then in the summer we do camps, camps programs. So we host camps, we put on camps. There are people that actually just rent our facilities and host their own camps as well. So we're all things outdoors.
And something super fun fact about Brian and I, we both run most of the camps on SIU's campus.
Okay.
We both used to work at Camp Ondasong.
Fun.
Yeah, so when I was a
Camp
teenager, I was a camp counselor.
Yes.
Yeah, I was the admin, so I didn't have to supervise Sarah, but yeah, so my job was to make sure that the camp counselors were well behaved.
Yeah. I was like, full disclosure, I was like 16, 17 when I worked there, but yeah, we both have camp experience at the same summer
Oh, I
camp.
love it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, well this is a bittersweet topic for me because I never went to summer camp as a kid.
You're still
don't know.
you know what,
Yeah.
and you're still a good person, and I don't
thank
be
you.
surprised.
And I think something awesome about Brian and I though, like hosting camps at SIU,
Yeah.
is camps at Touch of Nature versus camps on campus are two different experiences.
Totally. Yeah.
So the camps on campus, for instance, like through events and outreach, we're grade 1 all the way through graduating high school.
Great.
We have half day, full day, overnight camps, a variety of prices and price ranges. But a lot of our camps, if it's an overnight camp through our office, they're staying in a residence hall.
Yeah.
Which is a great way for a kid to kind of get a feel for being on a college campus at a young age. They're often eating in the student center. They're going to a night at the rec center or bowling in the student center. And so that's really the vibe of our camps our camps.
Yeah.
And ours are a little different, obviously. So, whereas a lot of the camps that are on campus are more thematic in terms of, athletics is a particular sport or a particular academic unit. We kind of use summer camp. We're a little bit more of the traditional. When you think summer camp, so we do day camps primarily, and the idea is to introduce kids to the outdoors. And really, I always joke everyone wants to be like, well, we're the living room of campus, and I always joke, I'm like, well, Touch of Nature is the backyard of campus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you think
A fun backyard.
well, but think
Yeah.
about
Fun backyard.
So think about all of the lessons that you learn in your backyard, like growing up. Like you don't necessarily learn a specific thing, but you learn how to interact with other people. You learn how to, as weird as this, conflict resolution. Like the neighbor kids are getting you learn that stuff in the outdoors. So our job, the way I kind of look at it is, we provide the space for that kind of learning to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so when people, how do we teach people, like, quote unquote, how to adult? Like, I actually think camps are a really good way to start teaching some of these bigger kind of concepts, like communication, like teamwork, like conflict resolution, and all of those things. Resilience, grit, all of it.
Well, you're a part of this new community,
Yep.
Yes.
right? That you aren't, like, you know, you're in your house, you know your role in your family unit, you know your role in your neighborhood. All of a sudden, you're dropped into this space with these other people you don't know. You gotta kind of find, where do I fit into this?
Yeah.
How do we all work and
And
live
think about
together?
that skill set, right? That ability to be like, I don't really know anybody, but all of a sudden I'm going to go to this camp, and
Yep.
you know, it's not just about how am I going to do the camp. It's like, am I going to make friends? Am I going to? And think about learning those skills at a young age and how transferable it is when you go to college and you're like, hey, you're going to college, you're going to SIU,
Yeah.
and you know, here's a roommate that you may or may not know, or other students that you may or may not know. Like that ability to create relationships. I mean, that starts at
Totally.
But I also think like camps, like in kids, we're talking about camps on campus. Kids are out of school. It's a great option for kids to have something to do in the summer.
Yeah.
In addition to some of the things that Brian talked about, you know, camps do develop lifelong skills. They're going to spend their days being active. It builds confidence in kids, help resiliency, independence. But something cool about camps on campus in particular is we have kids from all over Southern Illinois that come to camps on campus and at Touch of Nature. So kids get to meet kids from other schools in Southern Illinois. And the other really cool thing about camps on campus is they're actually getting to take camps from professionals in the field.
Yeah.
So if you're at a camp at Touch of Nature, you are taking a camp from somebody who specializes in outdoor education.
Yeah.
You're taking a baseball camp, that's a baseball coaching staff.
Yeah.
You know, if you're taking a aviation camp, those are aviation professors. And so I think that's what makes SIU camps special and different, is that it's really professionals in the field, and it's SIU staff who are teaching the camps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and what a good introduction. You know, like I said, I never did summer camp, but I always did the high school shows that they offer at the end of the McLeod Summer Playhouse season. That's what led me to going to SIU for theater, because I got to know the professors who worked at SIU. I got to know their teaching techniques and their style, and I was like, I like this. I jive with these folks. I'm going to go to school there.
So Sarah and I joke about that, and oftentimes it's like, oh, you work at higher ed, like you work at SIU, like what do camps have to do with college, right? And that really is, I mean, opening the front door to SIU and developing those relationships. Honestly, recruitment starts now. I mean, like that's when I say, like, we've got fifth graders out at Touch of Nature today, and they're going to leave hopefully having a great experience at Touch of Nature, but they're going to leave with their Saluki stickers and everything else. And it starts that hopeful that road that will lead to them coming here and choosing us to go to school.
Absolutely.
And it's super cool because we have current students on campus who were literally campers. We have current students, aviation students. I know of a couple who literally took the Summer Wings camp. Wings camp, which I think is also really cool when we actually see those kids have such an impactful experience that they do end up coming to SIU and enjoying all the things that Brian and I know and love about campus.
Yeah, and then I'm sure some of those previous campers and probably get to help with these current camps, yes?
Right, absolutely.
How
So,
special to
a
keep
lot of our
passing that along.
counselors, a lot of our counselors our camp directors are usually SIU staff in a variety of fields, but our camp counselors are most often students.
Yeah.
And students who are literally in that field, which is cool.
And it's a very experiential approach, right? And it's one of the things, you know, that Sarah and I, you know, both talk about and believe in coming up through sort of the student affairs field. There's this sense of learning in the classroom and learning outside the classroom.
Right.
And using this as an opportunity to say, okay, it's great, you know, your classroom instruction is great, but sometimes there are certain fields where it's like, well, let's put you in the field practicing doing the thing, right? And whether that's education or for us, education or forestry or even hospitality, tourism, event management, whatever, being able to provide these experiential learning opportunities to the students of SIU is also one of those things that makes SIU special. It's focusing on that learning in the classroom and out of the classroom. So really, like, that's why I love the camps, because it's beneficial to the current SIU students. It's great to develop an early relationship with future Salukis. And it's just fun.
Absolutely.
It is fun to be to be two staff on campus who oversee camps.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Guys, let's talk a little timeline here. So let's give us some details to our listeners. So if you're like, this sounds awesome, how and when do I sign my kiddos up for these camps?
So something really awesome for the community is all camps on campus. you can find from camps.siu.edu.
Great.
Even though we have separate web pages, we do have one portal for which anybody can see camp info.
Great.
And we have a lot of different types of camps. I'll start with some of ours. And,
Yeah.
So we, as Brian mentioned, we're kind of different because we have
That's a loaded
we have a
statement.
variety of camps. So some of the camps, as I mentioned, we have camps in the category of academic, art, music, and athletic camps. Some of the types of academic camps you'll see are Lego camps, which are
Fun.
super cool, happen every summer. In Lego camps, kids create movable, motorized construction projects. There's a variety of ages for Lego camps. They're mainly grade schools, so grades 1 through 5. Those are mainly our Lego camps. We have junior aviator camps, which are a really great introduction to careers in aviation. We have 4 of those, grade school all the way up through high school, that happen throughout the summer. We have an archaeology field camp, a gamification camp, which incorporates AI, which is really cool.
Wow.
There is an accounting camp, Young Writers Conference, which will say that took a hiatus because of COVID, and it is back this summer. And it's a 2-day workshop in the summer, June 21st, 22nd. We have an ag leadership camp, and we also have a couple of STEM camps. We have a STEM research camp, which is new this summer, as well as a girls STEAM camp. And so that happens in the summer too. We have some really cool baseball camps, which are always really popular. And something new this summer is that they're doing summer tournaments, so teams that travel in the summer can participate in 8 and under, 10 and under, and 9U tournaments. We have a whole awesome variety of art camps. That's through the Student Center Craft Shop. Stephanie Ducat, super talented. She's a craft shop coordinator. And so they have everything from clay making to print making to drawing and painting types of camps. And then we have always really popular summer music camps, so high school band camp, junior high band camp, drum major camp, color guard, percussion. We also have a piano camp. So we have a really good variety of camps. And as I mentioned, STEM camps and baseball tournaments, those are all new this summer. And we're really excited about a variety of offerings.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, we have a lot.
That is a lot.
Yes.
But it's like, variety, man. It'd be hard to not be able to find a camp that you are interested
Well,
in there.
and we do purposefully make sure, Brian's kind of saying, our camps are different than the Park District in John A. So in fact, we market our camps with John A. Logan. We make sure that we offer not the same stuff the same weeks. We're always glancing at the Park District's camps to make sure that what we're offering isn't conflicting with each other, because we don't want people to ever have to choose a same type of camp for the Park District versus our camps the same week.
Sure.
So that's something people don't know, is that we all do pay attention to each other's programming, and we make sure that we don't have programming that conflicts.
That's wonderful. That synergistic coordination.
Yeah.
I love
Behind
all
the
the
scenes.
intention
Well, yes.
behind that.
And I think that's, I'm going to credit Sarah. She was kind of the person that kind of got us all together. It was like, hey, we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's all work together. Because the reality is, all of us want every kid in Southern Illinois to go to camp. And none of us have the capacity to do that by ourselves.
Yeah, right.
And so then it was like, well, let's all kind of work together. And again, I always tell people, I want everyone to go to camp. If it's one of our camps, awesome. If not, that's fine.
Agreed.
But I want them to go to a quality camp. And I think under the umbrella of camps.su.edu, I think that there's also there's almost a quality that comes with being part of that umbrella of camps, knowing that it's going to be, it is a quality camp. And that's one of the things I tell people to look for, is like, do your research on the camp. Whether it's one of our camps or others, there's ways to do it. If you're looking for a traditional camp, there's a thing called the ACA, which is the American Camping Association, and so they accredit camps. So Touch of Nature is an accredited camp, and the accreditation process is, it's why the gray hairs are here. Like it's a huge binder with over 250 basically regulations to say, okay, to be an ACA camp, you have to have a policy on transportation, a policy on even, where you store your gas tanks for all of that. I mean, like it's very thorough. But what that does is it kind of shows you, like, okay, they've done their research and this is a quality camp. And fun fact, Touch of Nature is the first accredited summer camp in the country.
Ooh.
So there are a little over 4,000, give or take, summer camps in the country, between 4,000 and 4,500 depending. Of those, over 2,000 of them are ACA accredited.
Great.
And Touch of Nature Camp Little Giant was the first accredited camp. So our camp number, it's really cool. It's a real boss move when I call ACA. And like, what's your camp number? And I get to say,
1.
Technically, it's even 1-A. We're 1-A. So yeah, so that's our.
But can
Top
you
of the line?
Yeah, can you
cereal.
actually tell, your camps are super cool. Can you talk about like the types of camps that
Yeah.
you offer?
So
Yeah.
ours are kind of broken up into two different categories, right? So we have Adventure Camp, a ED venture, right, and that is for 5 to 10-year-olds, and it's pretty much throughout the months of June and July, and it's a complete day camp, and basically we're using the outdoors. So like our 5 and 6-year-olds, it's all outdoor play based. Like there's not a heavy curriculum. It's a, hey, we're gonna go and get dirty, and we're gonna play in the creek. And we're gonna take sticks and make magic fairy wands out of them and go around and play, right?
Yes.
As you get older, we get into a little bit more of the environmental education pieces, and then even older than that, we start adding some of our adventure pieces and the canoing and the kayaking and things like that. But the idea with those camps is just to provide, to help people create a relationship with the outdoors.
Yeah.
That's the whole theme.
Yes.
So then the other camps that we have, and so again, I'm a nerd when it comes to the history of this. So Touch of Nature was actually started by Dwight Morris. Every university sort of has that president that sort of sends you into the trajectory of like the college you are. And most people, I would say, agree that Dwight Morris is that for SIU. And so Dwight Morris believed kind of in two things. He loved the outdoors, and he was extremely a big believer in experiential learning, experiential ed. And so he went to a conference in Washington, D.C. in 1948. And came back and said, we're developing an outdoor ed facility, an experiential outdoor laboratory is what he called it. At the same time, he partnered with the first director of Touch of Nature, a guy named Bill Freeberg, who was the first person in the country to ever get their PhD in recreation.
Oh,
I
wow.
actually did not know that.
Yeah.
I know I've heard this history before.
Yes. And so they got together, and not only did they believe in camps and the power of the outdoors, but they started to realize like everyone should have access to this. And who isn't going outside and why? So at the time, they identified people with physical and cognitive impairments. And so what eventually became Camp Little Giant, right, which is our special needs camp. Now, we are not the first camp for people with disabilities, but we were the first university-owned camp, which meant that we became the training center for the entire country. So if you were a park district director, if you wanted to run your own camp, if you wanted to know how to provide these experiences, you flew, drove, took the train to SIU and went out to Touch of Nature.
Wow.
So much so that the Kennedy Foundation, back in the day, heard what we were doing. So the Kennedy's youngest sister had some cognitive impairments. And so Eunice Shriver, so JFK's sister, came out, and I have a video of her at Touch of Nature, saw what we were doing and said, this is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then actually ended up borrowing our director at the time. He took a leave of absence from SIU. He went with Eunice Shriver and Ann Burke, and then started in 1968 the Special Olympics up at Soldier Field, Chicago. So this is all to say that Touch of Nature and SIU have a rich history in providing these experiences and these camp-like experiences. So again, so we have our adventure camp, but then we also have what we call inclusion and affinity camps, right? So maybe you need a special camp based on your situation. So our Camp Little Giant has camps. Maybe you struggle with social anxiety and things like that. Like we have a camp for that. We don't require a diagnosis. You don't have to prove that you might be on the spectrum, for example. We kind of let you choose. Like, hey, here's a camp for you. So camps for people who might have ADHD, developmental disabilities, all of those things. And so that's our Camp Little Giant. But the other two camps that are relatively newer. One is our Teen and Youth Police Camp, which is a partner actually with the City of Carbondale, with Jackson County, with Illinois State Police. And what was funny is that Sarah and I were in a meeting, and originally the camp was going to be
on campus.
Yeah,
in the residence hall.
And they had planned the whole camp, and this was April and
Of
it
last
was-
year.
Of last year.
Last
And
year,
then
okay.
they were just going to come out to Touch Change for the day, and then I was whispering, and then finally that Joey Watson, who, if he's listening, he'll get a kick out of the story, but I was like, hey, I got an idea. Let's all of your planning, let's just throw that out the window, and why don't you come to Touch of Nature for a week?
Yes.
Well, I was a
And
better fit for
it
the
was
camp, and that's actually something we regularly do.
Yeah.
Like, people will come to us with an idea that's like Team Illinois Youth Police Camp, or it may be a proposal that we're pursuing to bring a group here, and we'll talk and figure out, are they better served to be a Touch of Nature? Are they better served to be a residential camp staying in like Neely Hall on campus? And that's something that we always talk about and vet groups who are coming to us outside of the camps we run. That's one thing I do want to mention. We do have groups, you know, Brian mentioned Team Illinois Youth Police Camp. They rent the space and use the services, so we aren't running the camp, and we have a lot of those on campus.
Sure.
We'll have groups that will come to campus. Last summer we had 1,000-person Lutheran youth conference.
Okay.
That was through an organization called Higher Things. And so in addition to all these really cool camps we host, we bring in groups on the regular.
Yeah.
I also want to give one more shout out to, we host a camp with, in partnership with SIH called Camp Beta, and now it's after, so it'll be in September, but it's for kiddos with type 1 diabetes.
Okay.
And so if you're not familiar with sort of diabetes, there's type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is a little bit more severe and requires a lot more medical attention.
Okay.
And so a lot of times these kiddos, you know, you might look at them and be like, oh, they're just a quote unquote normal kid, and they've not been able to have these outdoor experiences because their insulin levels and everything it's changed by the weather, the food they eat, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So we actually have 24-hour nurses that go around with these. So again, our job is, okay, in the inclusion world, is who's not able to have these experiences, and how can we help design a camp so that they can have the same kind of quality outdoor experiences that I got to have as a family.
This is awesome. We just have a few minutes left here talking to Sarah and Brian about camps at SIU and Touch of Nature. So one more shout, camps.siu.edu.
Yes.
That's your hub to find
That's
out
the hub.
all the info on all these
Yeah,
camps.
and our registrations, at least our registrations, so camps.siu.edu, the best portal for which to get access to all camps on campus. It'll take you to a camp landing page. Our information, people can register online, over the phone, they can fax in a form, they can drop it off. But we really, and then our office number is 536-7751 if people want to call events and outreach and have questions about the academic, art, music, or athletic camps that I talked about.
And ours is 453-1121, so you can call that. And the other thing too is we do have, obviously, you know, financial hurdles can be a thing.
Yep.
So speaking for Touch of Nature, we do have scholarships available.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also one of the things that I really want to send my kid, but I just don't know if we can afford it. Like, again, my goal is to get your kids outside. So if we can help, if we have the ability to help, we will do everything in our power to do that.
And we have some select camps with scholarships. That's something in future summers we're also looking at having a robust camp scholarship, support network for our campers. But we do have some camps with select scholarships too.
Yes. Oh my gosh, how exciting! And guys, what's our timeline we're looking at here with these camps? When should people? Is registration open?
Registration is open now,
Wonderful.
and the vast majority of both of our camps are in June and
Okay.
July. And so some of our camps do fill up.
Yes.
Some of Brian's camps
Yes.
fill up out at Touch of Nature. So I encourage people, if they're thinking about participating, having their kiddo participate in a camp this summer, register now,
Yeah.
just to make sure that you get into the camp that you want to get in.
And for sometimes too, people are very, hey, I only have this one
Yep.
week that I can go
Yep.
to camp. And so just the
Right.
sooner you register, I always feel like a used car salesman when I say that, but like
Same.
camps do fill up, and again, I don't want anyone to miss an opportunity.
But it's
because
funny that we say that because we're a salesman, but
Yeah.
my husband is actually a car
you
salesman.
said
Which is always because I say that,
You
right?
say that?
I feel like a car salesman, and then my husband's like, I am a car salesman.
Hey, cars have to be sold.
They
you
do.
know?
Yes.
So, do you guys have a car salesman camp?
We could.
Yeah,
we
you
could.
know.
Aaron
Think about
Moore
that.
can run it.
Yeah. I know a guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but we're really excited about this summer. We got a lot of great offerings, and we want everybody to participate.
Yes, goodness. Well, thank you guys so
Thank you
much,
for
Sarah,
having us.
Brian. What a pleasure. So excited about thank you for all the work you do, for all the offerings to provide so much for our community here. So if you're interested in camps.siu.edu, all right? And yeah, enjoy this spring, everyone. Looking forward to this wonderful summer. Thank you guys again. And up next here on WDBX, you're going to be listening to Class Matters.